Pokemon. Let's talk about it.
So, Pokemon. The biggest franchise in the world when it comes to making a profit. I don't need to explain what it is. You know what Pokemon is. It's been around for almost 30 years to the dot. I quite love Pokemon, actually. I've been a fan of it since I was a child. At the ripe age of 7, when I first got Pokemon Sapphire on Christmas Day. I want to say it was like 2005, like 04, 05, something like that. Around 04, I think. And I've been off and on in terms of like being hyper focused on the franchise. And recently I've been getting into collecting the cards again with my brother. As an example here is this nice little Ethan's Hoe that I got the other day. I think this art is absolutely beautiful. But that's not the point of the video. The TCG is not the point of this video at all. The point of this video is actually to talk about some Pokemon news.
This is a Fox News Super Alert!
That I wouldn't really call it news because we've known about it for like a week now. And that is FireRed and LeafGreen coming to Nintendo Switch like tomorrow, probably. By the time this video comes out. For those that don't know, FireRed and LeafGreen are the remakes of the original Red and Green that started this whole franchise. Except now, it's on the Game Boy Advance, it uses Gen 3 mechanics, etc, etc, etc. I remember my brother buying FireRed like years ago at Walmart. And I remember seeing like the Charizard on the cover. And I'm like, man, that's cool. Okay, the box art is cool, not Charizard himself. I actually don't like Charizard. That's neither here nor there. But, you know, FireRed and LeafGreen coming to the Switch as a way to celebrate Pokemon's 30th anniversary. I have really mixed feelings on this. I do, and it's for a few reasons, right? Because the good news is people who have never touched FireRed or LeafGreen or just a Kanto game in their life. Great opportunity to try it out. I do think FireRed and LeafGreen are the best way to enjoy Kanto, which, I mean, granted, the options are either Gen 1, FireRed and LeafGreen, or Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So the selection, not the best ever, but I would say FireRed and LeafGreen. You know, I'm happy like they're getting a chance. I'm happy that the GBA games, or at least some of the GBA games, are being able to be played on modern hardware. I do think that is a good thing for sake of game preservation. And I do think it is one way to celebrate the 30th anniversary. However, there are a few things that I do not like about this at all. Number one, it is almost the most literal definition of a port you'll ever see. It is just the game itself. There is no true online compatibility in terms of like trading and battling with your friends. It is confirmed to be local wireless only, which I think in the modern era of Pokemon is just something you shouldn't do. In terms of quality of life updates, there's not any besides the, of course, Pokemon Home compatibility that we know is coming because it was initially on the listing and then they took it off the listing. Which I should have mentioned, they leaked themselves that FireRed and LeafGreen were coming to the Switch like at 3 a.m. on a Friday night. Like some poor intern pushed the pre-order like at like 2:30 a.m. and then both Nintendo and Pokemon Company were like, well, I guess we have to do this now. We're gonna save this news for Friday and probably shadow drop it. But Dave decided to push it out early. So it's 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Here you guys go. Pre-order's up. And hey, home compatibility is coming. Except, we don't want to confirm that. So we're gonna take it off the listing. We're gonna make a guess. Even though it's pretty obvious that it's gonna have home compatibility. if it didn't have home compatibility, I'd be very concerned. Another issue in terms of just the lack of quality of life updates, I guess, is the fact that you will still not be able to evolve Pokemon that have evolutions specifically from Johto. Like, the biggest example is Golbat. You cannot evolve Golbat into Crobat unless you have the national dex. So in my eyes, in my eyes as someone who would be playing this game in 2026, or even as someone who was playing in like 2003, 2004, why would I use a Crobat? Not Crobat. Why would I use the Zubat line if I can't even hit the final stage until post game? Because to get the national dex, you need to have at least registered 60 Pokemon in the regional dex, and then also have beaten the Elite Four before you can get the national dex and the post game content, and your Johto evolutions and like your Hoenn Pokemon and stuff like that. I think you should just be able to evolve Pokemon that has a normal line, even if you don't have the national dex. I get the logic of like, oh, this is a Pokemon we've never seen before, but like from a gameplay perspective, it's a very big missed opportunity, and I just don't agree with it at all. Now, okay, they didn't say it specifically, but I'm like 90% sure that like the Sevi Islands are going to be there, which cool. Content that most people probably didn't get access to back in the day is getting a chance now, if that's true. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, congratulations, you're doing the bare minimum. Because I do think you should have the Sevi Islands, and any sort of locked post-game content, or just locked content behind like old school mystery gift events, stuff like that, like GameStop, Walmart, Toys R Us distributions. That should be available if we are re-releasing the game. And then my other sticking point to this is that you're asking $20 a pop. You're asking $20 for FireRed. You're asking $20 for LeafGreen. That is insane. If it was like $10, I would not care. I would not care one bit. But since it is $20, you have to ask yourself, is this 20-year-old game by itself with no real quality of life updates worth $20 when there are collections out there that have multiple games that are worth $20, or they may be worth a little bit more than $20, but are actually very much worth the price, like say the Castlevania Dominus collection or the Castlevania Advance collections that go on sale all the time, compared to Pokemon game, like compared to this 20-year-old Pokemon game that will probably never ever go on sale, because it is Nintendo, it is the Pokemon company, and they are never going to mark that down. Or better yet, why mark it as $20 a pop when you could have just put it on Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack and just have it with the rest of the game, have it with the rest of the GBA collection? That makes no sense to me at all. Besides, maybe they just can't do home compatibility using the NSO, like the actual NSO like section. I guess that's it. I don't know, but I feel like if that's the case, I feel like there should be a thing where if you have Nintendo Switch Online, well, I guess specifically if you have Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack, they should just be, I can't talk tonight, dude. They should just be free downloads. That's how I feel. I feel like they should be free downloads. Or maybe just as a way to celebrate Pokemon's 30th anniversary, they should just be free for a limited time. Like, not just, oh, this is free for a limited time, you have Nintendo Switch Online. No. I feel like if you have a Nintendo Switch, or a Switch 2, or a Switch OLED, or a Switch Lite, or just the entire Nintendo Switch family, you know what I mean? For like a week or a month, you could get Pokemon FireRed or Pokemon LeafGreen for free. That is what they did during one of Zelda's anniversaries, and they released Four Swords Adventures for free on the Nintendo DSi shop. I remember that because I did that. I had never played a Zelda game in my life. I'm like, huh, that's a free game. I'm a child. I don't get money like that. Free game, don't mind if I do. And of course, you could make the argument like, why pay $20 for this when I can get it by alternate means? But you know what? More power to you. Like if you want to go to GameStop and pick up your copy, cool. More power to you. I don't care. I don't care how you want to get the game. Because again, this goes back to the mixed feelings part, right? Because I have honestly considered spending $20 on LeafGreen because of, I guess, nostalgia. Even though I never really touched those games specifically as a kid. I was always more focused on Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Just personally, I have thought about just dropping that $20 just so I can say I have it, and now I'm able to play it on a bigger screen, and a bigger screen I can take with me, right? And also just like, I don't know, something about just having a Pokemon game on like actual Nintendo hardware, like nowadays, is kind of nice, especially if it's like a retro Pokemon game. I don't know, it's one of those, like, the best way I can describe it, it's like I thought about $20 to spend on like Pokemon LeafGreen just to feel something, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it, but like on the other end of the spectrum, you know what I mean? Like it's like why do that? That's stupid. When I can just play those games quite literally whenever I want without spending a single dime, because I could like, grab my phone, you know, play it that way, or like I can play it on my PC, or you know, I could go in my room, grab my 3DS and play it, and so that's where and so all that considered, I'm like, if I see both sides. If you want to buy the game, cool, I understand, more power to you. If you're like, I'm not paying $28 for a 20-year-old game, cool, I'm with you there. I understand that. Like, you do you. Cool. Play Pokemon how you want to play Pokemon. Just don't tell anyone how you're doing it. Okay. Don't tell anyone how you're playing Pokemon around Nintendo. In terms of what I would like to actually see come out, in terms of like Pokemon Company / Game Freak bringing retro titles to the modern hardware, dude, like, I would love to actually play Gen 3 on modern hardware, you know, and like, you can make the literal exact same arguments that I was making against FireRed and LeafGreen to the Hoenn games, but like at least there I have the nostalgia excuse of like, that's my first Pokemon game. Cut me some slack. Like, this is entirely a nostalgia purchase. And again, that's why like I'm not gonna tell people who are gonna buy FireRed and LeafGreen, like, I'm not gonna say like,
oh, you have FireRed and LeafGreen on your Nintendo Switch, you're a dummy.
No, I'm not gonna do that, no, because I get it. And if it's not the Hoenn games, at least on Pokemon Day, I'd appreciate if they shadow drop Gale of Darkness on NSO. That would make me very happy. That's the retro games I know are coming. Oh, okay. FireRed and LeafGreen, I know are coming. Gale of Darkness, we know is coming. We've known Gale of Darkness is coming to NSO for almost a year now, and there has not been a single hint of it. So I'm assuming it is. We're gonna either get an update on that during the Pokemon Presents, or it is going to be shadow dropped. But hey, that's just my opinion for what little it's worth. I'm just a dude just talking in front of a screen where my entire glasses have this massive glare. If you've somehow reached this far, I appreciate you watching all the way. And if you like what I talk about, leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to give me your thoughts on this whole FireRed and LeafGreen situation, feel free to drop it down below. You could be like, I totally agree with you. Or you could also be like, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, it's fine. It's your opinion. I get it. But until next time, I will see you all later.